bright spots are that we really responded well going into overtime. That's a hard thing to do mentally when you have a good lead, and all of a sudden the game's in overtime and all the momentum is against you. So that was something that good teams do. You know, it's a hard thing to do. The other thing I was really pleased with our young players again in their efforts. Now, we didn't do, besides having resiliency in overtime, we didn't do most other things that good teams do. Our defense was, again, not good, and there were multiple problems with it. You know, you look at them scoring 47 points and shooting 64% in the second half, you know, that's not what a good defensive team does, or even an average defensive team. So I'm pleased with the win. I'm pleased that we responded well mentally going into overtime. I'm pleased that our young players continue to grow. But overall, we really did not play that well.
John, what did you think of Aaron today? You talked the other day.
Yeah, I thought offensively was good. I thought that you know, he went out for some rebounds. I thought he was the same as the rest of our team. I thought defensively he didn't contest enough shots, but he certainly had a lot of company in that area.
And the reason he was not in at the end of regulation?
Oh, they just played small. You know, they played small. They had you know, Eggleston pretty much as their center, and we know that Eggleston's a three-point shooter. And I just felt like the key to the game at that point was perimeter defenders, and that was the only reason.
Coach, what was going through your mind during those last 3 minutes as Penn's threes are falling in, it's a scramble, and they
Oh, listen, like Ruben said, we've been through it. It's probably the one thing is I said, man, how do I stay alive? I mean, just physically going through it so consistently. How do I live through another one? And that's not much of an exaggeration.
Penn started hitting the threes down the stretch, but what changed defensively for you guys to prevent them from doing that in overtime?
Yeah, we just responded well in overtime. We talked more on our switches. You know, when they're small like that, we have a bunch of guards, we can't switch. We know that they're looking for threes, and I mean, we didn't switch. I mean, we didn't do what we were supposed to do. I mean, just, you know, we didn't stop at the red light. You know, we didn't turn the light out at night. I mean, we just didn't do just really basic things that we're supposed to do, like really basic things.
One of the big keys to that comeback was Zach Rosen finally going into attack mode and making threes.
Well,
do you think Penn's a better team when he's in scoring mode like that, or as a facilitator?
Well, I think he's wonderful in both. I think he does whatever his team needs. And the reason they came back and got in overtime is because he went into the scoring mode. So I think Zach just has a great feel for the game, and he'll do whatever his team needs. And he did today. But again, as good as he is, I mean, he was just going in for a layup drill off those ball screens. It's not like he's a great player, but we didn't necessarily force him to make great plays.
John, you said several times that this is not a good defensive team. What do you have to do to
you know, it's
rectify that?
You know, you can't do something unless you want to do it. And with what we do, there's different levels of want. I mean, this level of college basketball, and I've said this many times, takes extreme effort. It takes extreme commitment. I don't believe in hard work at all. You know why? Because every team we play against works hard. Every single one of them. No one comes in and takes it easy on you at this level. So the key is having an edge. The key is having an extraordinary commitment. The key is having a mentality that I'm not breaking down. And it's a focus, and I just think it's a commitment. And like I said, if you were to ask our players, and I'm thinking of different ones right now, describe yourself as a player. I would say, you know, I'm a playmaker, I can run a team, I can make open shots, but I can really find people. Another guy would say, you know, I can combo, I can shoot the three, I'm a big, strong guard. The only guy who would say I can really defend is Sam Mills. So you have to start to define yourself. If you don't say, hey, I'm a good defender. How can you be a good defender if you don't think of yourself that way? You know, we need guys to desperately want to play defense and realize its importance, not in a casual way, not in a normal way, but in a very committed way. And they have to think of themselves like, I want to be a good defender. I have to be like that. It's something I have to do to reach my potential. And listen, I can give a heck of a speech about it. I can be very eloquent, very persuasive, but I'm not preaching to the choir yet. I'm still trying to get converts. And they're good kids, but we don't have enough converts.
John, it's probably not a coincidence that the recent skid has coincided with Rupert's illness, and I had some 15 for 58 in the last like 17 games. I mean, just how reliant is the offense on? I mean, we're getting points on from Williams and Murray down low.
We've scored pretty well all year, with the exception of the GW and the Richmond games. We've scored points, so you know, I think we can find ways to score points most nights. And like a lot of teams, you know, some nights it just doesn't fall. But if you look at us over the long course of time, even during this skid, I mean, we've scored enough points to win games. I mean, we scored 80s. I mean, we've been scoring high 70s and 80s and losing. So, you know, whether Ruben's there to make a few extra shots has not been our problem. But I do think Ruben is important because depth is important and experience is important and good players are important and he's all those things. But we have to just, you know, defense is focus and toughness. And those are mental things. Those are mental things. We have to get better mentally. And the one good sign tonight was resiliency in overtime. That was a great sign mentally. But, you know, we have to have a defensive mentality.
Anything else, Coach?
One more, Coach. At times it seemed like Eric was kind of passing on attempted block shots, or
Yes.
and was that to stay in the game, stay out of foul trouble?
Well, they had 0 fouls at the time, so
Yeah, Is that
I don't know.
okay?
All right, thanks, guys. Thanks,
Sums
Coach.
it up.